It's always fun to have a nice little meeting via Zoom with Carrie Wilson of Carrie Wilson Makeup. And Carrie, these summer months are hard on the face.
They are. I mean, you feel like everything just is falling off and slippery and you just can't seem to keep it on, right?
Right. And you have to have something there because sunblock, that's the first layer always.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's number one. And there's so many amazing sunscreens. If you haven't tried one for specifically your face in a long time, there's so many new products that are either like mineral powder based or just really, really light creams that you barely even feel on the skin.
You know, once you do get something that is meant to go underneath, how do you keep everything in place?
So first off is you need to kind of lighten up is what I would say. And I mean that on your foundation front as well as your moisturizer. So sometimes people that are oily are like, what do I do? I don't even want to wear a moisturizer right now. We still need to hydrate our skin. But even your dry skins can go outside and feel like perspiration and the humidity. So maybe you don't use the moisturizer you use for the rest of the year. It could be a little lighter in texture. It could be more of a serum base, which tends to penetrate into the skin. So take a look at sort of revamping your day skincare. You could still use the same thing at night if you wanted to for the extra hydration or your different concerns that you may have. So lighten that up. Another quick tip is a lot of times we end up being one color here and one color here during the summer. And that's because we are so good at wearing the sunscreen, the hat, all of that. We tend to be way more brown and deeper and richer in our skin tone on our chest and our arms. So self-tanner for the face is a really great way to go, or a bronzer. But I say self-tanner because if you use a self-tanner, it can even the skin tone out, which then you don't have to wear as much foundation. I love Tan Luxe. You can get it at Ulta, and I'm sure you can get it other places. It's an oil, and it comes in a dropper. So you can add, I believe, 2 to 4 drops into your moisturizer. And, you know, it doesn't have a weird smell to it. And I love that you can tailor it because, like, your super fair girls are not going to want to use 4 drops.
What about powder? Is that something that you should be carrying with you? Do we need to do the whole, or is that kind of an old school thing?
It's really not an old school thing. I am not a huge lover of a lot of powder, but I will tell you that sometimes we need it in certain areas. And especially, again, even if you're the driest of dry skins, that humidity hits the face. And I like to have a powder in my purse that I can just kind of touch my chin, my nose, my forehead, just so I look a little bit more fresh if I have a meeting or something like that. So it's not old school. Just don't overuse it. There's no reason to. You just use the amount you need where you need it.
Anything else we need to be thinking about for the summer?
Waterproof everything is great. So waterproof mascara if you need to, waterproof eyeliner because that holds on much better. What about priming the skin and prepping the skin? So not everyone needs primers, but if you are noticing that throughout the day your makeup is moving off and, you know, separating in certain areas, you may want to try a primer, and have primers for all different skin types and concerns. So make sure to read and find the one that matches you. And then there's also primers for the eyeshadow, for the lids too, that keeps it on usually 8 to 10 hours. In saying that, like you said with the powder, you do still need to kind of touch up throughout the day, and there's nothing wrong with that. So don't think I need to wear 24-hour everything and it needs to be right there. That's not really going to happen for most people.
Carrie, thanks. I think another thing we can all remember is that we're all experiencing the same 98-degree days. So it's not just us that's melting. Sometimes you can feel like you're the puddle in the room, but everybody feels the same way, right?
That's exactly right. You know, most of the time people aren't noticing that your chin looks oilier than normal. I mean, that's just, it's, you know, we're very critical of ourselves. And so kind of take a step back, like you said, and realize that that's not what people are really looking at. So don't freak out over it.
Carrie Wilson of Carrie Wilson Makeup. It's always what's underneath with you. Even though you're such an artist with what's here, it's always what's here with you. And we love it.
Thank you.